Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another vlog. Today, I'm going to discuss with you some tips, particularly 5 tips to become a safer motorcycle rider in Metro Manila. Alright, so you finally cashed in that check for that new big bike you've been eyeing for some time. Or maybe you've just made a down payment for your very first scooter. Regardless, it's your intent to escape the clutches of the Carmageddon that is Metro Manila and maybe get a whiff off that good old motorcycle freedom you so often hear about. When riding a motorcycle is pondered upon, images of free-flowing country roads with lush mountains and clear skies often come to mind. The urban vehicular nightmare, which is Metro Manila, is probably the farthest thing from a serene and relaxing motorcycle adventure. There are, however, several ways to turn this drudgery into sheer bliss on a daily basis. But in order to have fun on a motorcycle, regardless of the roads of choice, safety must always be of top priority. Of course, we want to ensure we get to ride our beloved steeds for many years to come. So here are 5 tips that may help you become a safer rider in and around the metro. Number 1, have a good sense of traffic judgment. Now, in traversing the congested metro roads, one must always expect the unexpected. It's hard enough driving a car protected by layers of plastic, rubber, and sheet metal, dealing with pedestrians, tricycles, buses, jeepneys, and the proverbial camote riders. Of course, don't be one of them. Riding a motorcycle requires absolute and total concentration and a sixth sense-like ability to predict the next moves of the vehicles around you. There is a combination of several factors, keys to which are an impeccable sense of spatial awareness, presence of mind, riding strategy, and overall riding skills. Remember, there's nothing to protect us from the outside elements other than our riding gear. Which of course brings us to our next tip. Number 2, ATGAT, or all the gear, all the time. These are words to live by, especially in the erratic traffic situation in the metro. If unprepared, even the fittest and strongest can become completely disabled or worse in the blink of an eye. As mentioned above, all we have to protect us from the hazards around us is our gear. So it's best not to cheap out on it and to make sure we have at least the bare minimum when riding on the streets. In an ideal world, motorcycle gear would consist of a helmet, riding gloves, a riding jacket, motorcycle-specific pants and boots. But realistically, come on. Most, if not all of us who ride on a daily basis use our bikes as our primary mode of transportation and thus can't spend the whole day clad in motorcycle gear. Because of this, the absolute bare minimum for me would be a helmet, at least DOT safety rated of course, motorcycle gloves, a padded jacket, jeans and closed shoes. Shorts, sandals, slippers, and sleeveless shirts belong absolutely nowhere near a moving motorcycle. One need not look far at what a seemingly minor crash can do to unprotected skin and bone. Don't believe me? Head over to literally any motorcycle group on Facebook. You're bound to see photos of mangled and eviscerated bodies from various motorcycle accidents. Motorcycle gear has become a lot more accessible recently, with several stores popping up in the e-commerce environment and several new mid-market brands being introduced. Well, although some of these gear you'd find online could be somewhat questionable, with proper discernment, however, I believe it's still better than having no gear at all. I like to compare good motorcycle gear with insurance. It's a very important thing to have, but it isn't 100% guaranteed to save your ass. It's great to have insurance, but by no means would we want to be faced with a situation where we would have to use it. The same goes with riding gear. At the end of the day, it's our riding gear that determines whether or not we walk away from an accident. Number 3 would be mastering the art of low-speed maneuvers. In the motorcycle world, there seems to be a misplaced sense of ego, wherein the bigger and more powerful the bike, the more macho or astig you appear. But is that really the case? Big displacement torque monsters are great for highway rides and weekend adventures and track days. But what about traversing the metro? Perhaps not as convenient as lower displacement, lightweight bikes with accelerators which are easy to tame, but it still can be done. Nonetheless, regardless of what bike you ride, a key element of urban riding is proficiency in safe, low-speed maneuvers. Picture this. You get yourself a motorcycle with the intent to shorten your travel time significantly. You're riding down the skyway towards EDSA and see a traffic jam ahead of you. Without any prior experience, you get intimidated by the cars that surround you, and maybe even snag the door mirror of that van you tried to squeeze past. Thank God the driver didn't notice, but the anxiety and fear has set in. You realize how vulnerable you are and how your beloved steed could just get scratched up and mangled in an instant. You sure as hell wouldn't want to ding other people's cars as well, right? So you sit there, behind one of the many cars sitting at the gridlock, and tell yourself, it's alright, let's just ride like I'm a car. Technically speaking, yeah, lane splitting is illegal in the Philippines. However, it's not enforced and is in fact encouraged by traffic enforcers and officials looking to ease the vehicular flow. Lane splitting is legal in almost all other countries around the world, and there are definitely safe ways to do it. Therefore, it is a must that new riders are proficient in riding their bikes in tight spaces, threading the spaces in between cars, as well as observing proper traffic etiquette. There are literally thousands of videos on YouTube attempting to teach the fundamentals of low-speed riding, keeping the bike as stable as possible at low speeds. There are also some classes new riders can take which not only teach slow riding but everything riders would need in order to be safe on the road. An important principle to safely riding a motorcycle at any speed is to not ride past your skill level. It's always better to arrive a bit later than to not arrive at all. Number 4 would be to keep your ego in check. Building confidence in a motorcycle is relatively easy. It's not literally a case of the more you ride, the more you learn. A lot of people would agree that new riders are the most at risk of getting into an accident between their first to third years of riding a bike. It is very easy to fall victim of the Dunning-Kruger effect, or the false perception that your skills are well developed enough to keep you safe. Many times riders' perception of their skills are greater than what they actually are, and they find themselves panicking in otherwise manageable situations. Always remember that as a rider, you can never learn too much. Each and every ride is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself, your skills, your bike, and the environment which surrounds you. As cliche as it sounds, the road is not a racetrack. It's far too easy to succumb to the urge to keep up with it and overtake camotes on small zippy scooters wearing some knockoff helmet, tsinelas, and a sando. Be the better rider. Keep your cool and pace. Ride safely and responsibly. Number 5 would be to ensure your motorcycle is in tip-top shape. Regardless of whether you travel on 2 or 4 wheels, ensuring your vehicle is well maintained is an absolute necessity. Not only does this religiously following your bike's maintenance schedule help keep unwanted repair costs at bay, it also ensures you get to and from your destination safely and on time. Having your bike overheat and break down on you is the last thing you'd want on a hot summer commute in the middle of EDSA traffic. Taking good care of your bike's mechanicals and electricals will ensure you get maximum service from it all throughout its intended service life. Keeping your motorcycle's paint and frame free of contaminants such as tree sap, dead bugs, road tar, and grime, ensure that your trusty steed remains as beautiful as it was when it first rolled off the showroom floor. When all are together, keeping your bike in tip-top shape ensures your bike holds its value and keeps doing what it was designed to do. Bring fun and excitement to your daily commute, trips out of town, and everything in between. So guys, do you have any additional tips on surviving riding through hellish Metro Manila traffic? Feel free to share them in the comments below, or feel free to send me an email. Thanks for watching this video and see you next time. Safe rides.